Namaste, everyone. We are going to be talking about how you can strengthen your immune system, right? We have been listening to, oh my God, I have to get my vaccine and my immunity is low. All that is happening all around the world. We have a very special guest today, Veronica. Veronica is a Kundalini Yoga therapist as well as a spiritual counselor. I am super excited to have her here with me. Veronica, welcome and namaste.
Namaste, Amita. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your journey into becoming like a Kundalini yoga therapist? I know you had a very flourishing real estate career before, and then you switched everything in midway in your life or whichever time in your life, and then now you are a spiritual counselor.
That's a great question because it's definitely two different worlds. But yes, I actually, I think like a lot of women, I lived a life where to the outer world, it looked like I was really successful. I owned my own company, was at the top of my game in my career. But truly within me, I was dying inside. I was having nervous system breakdowns. I was not really feeling high levels of anxiety. And so one day I decided to finally go on this path to heal my life, to heal myself. And for me, holistic, natural paths always interested me. So my journey really began like in 2008 when I first started to practice meditation, practice different types of yogas. I traveled to even the Peruvian jungle in the Amazon, and I worked with shamans and plant medicine doctors. And then when Kundalini Yoga came into my life, it was like, this is what I was missing. And I understood and learned about the science of energy and emotions. And I was able to really bring a lot of healing to my life from so many different, from stress, from anxiety, from being a high achiever, but not having a stable enough nervous system to be able to process all the growth in my life. And so since then, I've been on this journey. I became a Kundalini Yoga teacher about 2 years ago, and now I'm on the path of becoming a Kundalini Yoga therapist. I just started my teacher training or the training aspect there, and it is everything I've ever wanted. But of course, it really forces me to make sure that I'm keeping myself in a high level of purification, detoxification, and also balance in my emotions, because stress right now, I think that's one of the biggest challenges people are dealing with right now.
That's right. That's right. And the immune system, right? So that's another thing. Like so talk to us a little bit about how yoga therapy can help strengthening our immune system.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because the immune system, a lot of people don't realize, is directly correlated to stress. And what a lot of people don't realize, and yes, the immune system is a big red subject matter right now, but what we don't realize is that our immune system becomes weakened when we are not processing stress. Our immune system becomes weakened when we are in a state of fear, in a state of fight and flight, where we have this beautiful little gland in our brain that's known as the hypothalamus. It basically watches out for threats, and when we are not processing our emotions, meaning learning how to be with them instead of running away from them or numbing ourselves, we are also weakening our immune system. And of course, we know also the foods we consume. But here's the thing: if you are somebody that has a practice of meditation every day, you also are better able to have live in the neutral mind and make better choices about the foods you put inside of your system, as well as learn to be with your emotions, so that then they don't end up becoming an illness, which is really what happens. All illnesses start at the level of an emotion. And
Wow.
so our immune system is connected to how we can process these emotions, how we can process the demands of today's time, because we are being, if it's not a social media, it's an email, it's a text message, it's WhatsApp. So our nervous systems, we are learning more in one day than our ancestors learned in their entire lifetime. So it's important for us to keep a strong immune system by having strong emotional health. That is very, very important.
Mhm. That's actually interesting that you talked about the emotional health. I mean, all of us have had some kind of an emotional distress at some point in our life, whether it's some people had childhood trauma or something, teen years or whatever. And a lot of us really don't emotionally kind of, outburst or express our emotions out. At least it used to happen before, for the fear of not, oh, what was the judgment? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I start talking about everything in my life, and I might fear that, oh, how is the other person going to judge me? So how can yoga, to coming back to this yoga therapy and meditation, how can that help me with release of my emotional distress that might have been built up over the years?
That's a great question. And Kundalini yoga is the mother of all yogas. It's the yoga of awareness.
Yes.
And it is a combination of the 22 limbs of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
So the beautiful aspect of when you practice and integrate this, what I call the inner work, is that you learn to become the watcher,
Mm-hmm.
and you learn to become that self-awareness. We cannot change what we're not aware of, period.
Mm-hmm.
And we are running our day, 85% of our day is on a program, an inner child program,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is that when we have these traumatic experiences, those are energy, those are emotions, they get stuck in our body.
Mm-hmm.
Because they get stuck in our body, they later become an illness. I'll give you a perfect example. Like if a zebra is being attacked in the jungle by a lion, and the lion doesn't catch the zebra, it moves away and it starts shaking its body to get the experience out of its system, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that as human beings. When we go through that experience, we don't get it out of our system. So as we learn to move the body, and this is where a lot of people get it, a lot of misconceptions about, especially Kundalini yoga, because it is a householder yoga. Right away you think, oh, you have to learn how to bend your body in weird ways and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Movement is chant. Movement is breath.
Mm-hmm.
Those are ways that you heal your body, that you rewire the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, a miracle is but a shift in perception. So through the inner work, we create miracles by shifting our perceptions about the experiences that we encountered or had. And if we don't do this,
Mm-hmm.
then we experience and project them out in our day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's really, really difficult.
Yes, yes. So, all right. So, how do we do that? I mean, what are the tools?
Yes. So I'm gonna share with you all a very simple meditation that I share with almost everybody. This is a meditation that you can practice for 3 minutes. That's the whole thing about Kundalini. It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And what this meditation does is that it works on the two hemispheres of the brain,
Mm-hmm.
balancing out the chemicals that are being secreted. Now, when that happens, is you can reach a states of consciousness where you're able to access the neutral mind, and you're able to process any of those emotions that are weakening the immune system, right? And so the power of breath is what we use with this meditation.
Okay.
So in Kundalini Yoga, we always recommend that you start by meditating first by tuning in with a mantra. A mantra there's the science behind sound frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And as you tune in with this mantra, you're connecting yourself to more awareness into the body, mind, spirit connection.
Mm-hmm.
So the mantra is Om Namo Guru Dev Namo.
Okay.
We're going to chant it together three times, breathing. And we're just going to practice this meditation for 30 seconds together, just so you could feel the potency. Okay. Not recommended that you practice it even more than 5 minutes. 3 minutes or 5 minutes a day is all you need. This is preventive medicine. So we don't want to just wait until we're sick, right?
Yes.
And so the way it actually works is that you're going to be bringing your hand to the side, and you're going to be bringing your ring finger down to the thumb. We work with angles. Yeah. So everything you're doing creates an energetic frequency in the brain and in the body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you're going to be doing next is you're going to be making a fist out of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be lifting your Jupiter finger up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is your pointer finger. Now, you're going to bring your finger to your nose, and you're going to cover the nostril.
Okay.
So sitting here, you're going to be back is completely straight. It is recommended that you do cover your hair, your head, just because you're pushing energy. But if you don't have anything to cover with, you're totally okay. Okay. So as you're holding it, what you're going to do is you're going to begin this breath that is known as breath of fire in Kundalini. Now, the breath of fire is from the navel. A lot of our traumas, emotional blockages, they get stuck in the first lower chakra. So
Okay.
it kind of looks like a puppy that's panting, but you're putting your tongue inside your mouth.
Yeah.
I always just tell people that way. I always wonder like that. And then what you do is you basically hold the nostril in and you close your eyes. You can gaze up to the third eye. And you begin that breath where you're pumping the breath from the actual navel. Now, as you're doing this, what it's doing is that it's imbalancing the meridians of the brain. This is where we store, like I said, a lot of these negative emotions. It's also burning through and allowing any stuck energy to start to move up the system so that the immune system starts to become stronger as well. So that's one that's very, very easy to do. And like I said, I share this with even moms so that they can do it with their children. It helps their children keep a really strong immune system. And it's kind of fun to do too. I mean, like I said, you just start with tuning in, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. You say it 3 times, you chant it 3 times, and then very easy, you just hold it down.
Yeah.
And you begin the movement.
This is the mudra. This is the mudra, right? Which mudra is this?
This is the ring finger mudra. There's no actual name for it, but you're holding it down on the thumb for it.
Okay.
And so the key here is the breath of fire. That is very important. The breath of fire is one of the most important breaths in Kundalini. And the reason is because it first of all brings oxygen to the brain very quickly, but it also helps with the rewiring of those subconscious programs as you're using your own breath to help move that energy. So yeah, that was a really, really easy one. Like I said, this is preventive medicine. You want to practice it even if you can wake up in the morning. A sadhana is something you do every day, right? A minute of you doing this will help you start to feel better, help you process, and help you really strengthen the immune system that you can't physically see, but you're going to feel it as you move throughout your days.
That's amazing. Any yoga poses that you recommend that we should also do in addition to the breath work, the Kundalini breath work that you talked about?
Yeah, great question. The other one that I would probably suggest is always doing the Sufi grinds. The Sufi grinds are you're putting your hands on your knees. Your back is completely straight. You're going to gaze up to the third eye and you're going to be making this forward motion.
Like that?
Yes. Forward. And what you're doing is you're moving the torso. A lot of people start to move the spine. You want to make sure you're moving from the bottom. Now, you're going to do this for a minute and then you're going to come back and you're going to do the other way for a minute. It doesn't matter which way you start first. The reason this one is so powerful is, especially as women, a lot of the emotions we carry in this root chakra and in the womb space. So what this does is that if you can do this on grass, on Mother Earth herself, grounding is so powerful in itself. But this way, you're going to be able to really process those emotions, but also connect more deeper to your intuition. And for a woman, this is a vital because a lot of us actually have really strong intuition. We just don't know how to trust it. And so this is going to help you ground yourself as our DNA and our frequency is changing with Mother Earth herself. This helps me stay in my body and helps me, remember that this incarnation is just as powerful as the subtle world for sure.
So that actually you make a very interesting point. So if you look at some of the choir, right, in mass, like church, when they're singing and they're moving their bodies, and even in other religions, I grew up in India, so you go to the temple, any temple for that matter, like the chanting, right? There's a and then most of them are kind of moving their body. It's just the release of the emotion that's happening, if you think about it, in the community on top of that, right?
Right. That's exactly what it is. It's you're creating that space for the release of what is blocking you, which now we know ultimately it ends up being a physical disease anyway. So we got to start from the inside. So yeah, that's exactly what it is.
All right. So what else do you think we should do to strengthen our immune system in addition to meditation, breathing, anything else that you like to talk about, since you also are a Reiki practitioner, something on energy or?
Yeah, for me, well, the Reiki I do mostly to myself, but it's through the meditation work. My
Okay.
thing, it's always self-awareness. A lot of
Hmm.
people make meditation difficult, but really it's just you being aware of where you're at that time and space. And not and when you the more you do this, here's the beautiful part. You stop judging yourself. And
Yes.
90% of the healing journey is acceptance. If
Hmm.
you can accept wherever you're at, whether if it's a disease or emotional instability,
Hmm.
that's where the healing starts to begin. And
Hmm.
as you start to accept, you start making better choices about everything else, the foods you're eating, the
Hmm.
people you're hanging around with.
Hmm.
And it all starts with you developing a deep connection with yourself and being okay with all that you are, the light and the darkness, all of it. Because I think that we're so hard on ourselves. We try to be a certain way, not realizing that it's acceptance that's really needed.
Accepting yourself for who you are, recognizing who you are, and being kind to yourself, and not really chasing someone. Look, I want to be like this person or that person, which all of us have done, right? At some point in our life, like you said, you were a real estate broker, and whatever. All of us trying to chase someone's dream of whatever the dream is, and not understanding this is who I am. And that's what you're saying.
Yes, and you said the magic word, recognizing, right? And the
Mm,
only way we can recognize ourselves is we have to know ourselves, and
yes.
we can't run away from ourselves. That's for sure.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Veronica, for sharing this moment with us. We're talking about the power of breath. Your breath is very powerful. So use your breath. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's just going to help you live a better life, right? Anything else you'd like to add, Veronica, before we wrap up?
I just think the last thing I'll say is we're living in beautiful, epic times. We have so much power within that it's actually a blessing. Our soul signed up for this, so let's do the best with it,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to everyone for being with us on every single day. We are bringing you every single day some small snippet of living a healthy life. So stay tuned every single day. With that, namaste.